Okay, so right now we're live. You'll be able to see the comments, I think, at the bottom of the screen.
Okay. I
Um,
see a chat. It's yeah, a studio
yep.
chat
So,
and comments.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, because every so often somebody be on with that,
Okay.
and I'm trying to do better with monitoring and speaking at the same time.
Lord, you're doing better than me. I did good to get the information out on all the platforms today.
Yeah, yeah. I saw. I was like, okay, yes, and I
They
had
already
never done.
chiming in.
Yes, I had not. Okay, hey sis,
Okay, now
that's
wait a
for you.
minute.
Yep,
Let's connect to the comment. Uh-oh.
yep. You see it,
Yeah,
Kamisha Ferris.
wait a minute. I gotta just allow StreamYard in.
Yep.
Okay, so we're having trouble connecting you to your YouTube account. My YouTube account?
Hmm. Well,
Okay.
welcome. That's Kamisha Forrest. For
Ferris.
you, Ferris. Okay, I had it right the
Yep.
first time.
And it says connect to comment, but it won't let me do it. Hmm.
So you're able to see it.
So I can see the comment, I just can't comment back.
Okay.
I don't know why. Oh, the train is coming past too. You might
Listen,
hear.
you may, it may come back over here in a few minutes. Then. Oh. But I had never done the I guess the everyone and the followers thing. I was like, oh, that's a good idea.
Oh yeah.
Advertise, yeah. So
See if I can do it this way. We gonna see. It's gonna let me. It's not letting. Is it because I don't have a account with it? I don't have an account with StreamYard.
yeah, it might be that. So you could just, verbally, if even
I
if you don't
will
know how to use.
acknowledge.
Yes, yes, yes. So
Acknowledging Kamisha Ferris.
yes, and welcome. Okay, so it's 8 o'clock.
It
And
is.
so welcome to another collaborative conversation. I am Latricia Penny, and my special guest today is Miss LaPronda Spann. And I'm super excited because we've known each other, but not know each other a whole lot about each other. So this is going to be like really good stuff. I'm so sure because you're awesome, and I know in passing and all the great works that I see you do, all of the posts of your accomplishments, and it's been ongoing for years. So I am so excited to just that you've taken some time and allowed yourself to grace me with your presence. And I am so, just like I said, I'm super excited to just learn more and ask the questions and have this conversation with a dynamic individual. So we're
Oh,
gonna go ahead and get started. And we're going to start off with, just tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do, and we'll go from there.
sure. So that's a loaded question because I never know which way to go. But I'll say hello to you and everybody who is tuning in, listening. Um, so my name is LaPronda Spann, for those who may not know me or who log in later. And I am the owner of Lane Consultant, but I'm originally from Washington, D.C. I live in Charlotte now as a result of going to college at Johnson C. Smith University. So I'm a Golden Bull,
Oh,
excited about the Golden Bulls.
uh-huh.
Um, I'm a mom, I'm a business owner, I'm a former public health professional. And I am just, after living these 5 decades, I'm just starting to enjoy life and really just taking time to take it slow and just love the things around me.
Right. So what does Lane Consulting do?
So, Lane Consulting, we are what we consider a diversity services consulting firm. And
Mm-hmm.
basically, what I do is I assist small business owners who are interested in doing business with local and state government.
Mm-hmm.
And doing what we call getting certified to do business with those agencies
Mm-hmm.
because they're premium contracts. I also provide supplier growth planning where we just kind of talk through what it means to go from being certified to landing your first or next contract. I
Okay.
teach all things government contracting. So I have my own trademark course called Fast Track to Contracts.
Oh,
But the
nice.
biggest thing is helping my small business owners understand that there's more money out there than just $20. And that's my
Okay.
key to it. You can make more than $20.
Right.
And so helping people to understand the path to get there. And I found government contracting to be one of those paths.
Okay. So, question with everything that's been going on lately, is it still as easy or is the money still there or the contracts are cuz they go away or not go away or is it, just with like with the new office administration, I'll just say that cuz that has a lot has been just like, oh, wow. Has that impacted things at all
It
or
has.
Mhm.
So I will say, yes, the dismantling of DEI, we've had some effects of that. Many of us lost contracts. So I was one of the
Mhm.
ones that lost a contract because they dismantled a program that I
Mhm.
had a contract for with the state. Um, we learned that the additional 2 years that I was supposed to work would be
Uh-huh.
dismantled. And so I lost $100,000 last year.
Ooh.
But when you've been in business, right? But when you've
Yeah.
been in business long enough, you start
You know.
learning how to pivot. You master
Mhm.
the art of the pivot. And so
Nice.
you find other
Mhm.
things and ways to make
Mhm.
money. And
Okay.
I think one of the biggest things is keeping your reputation and integrity intact so that you can always go back to those who have always supported you to get the
Awesome.
assistance. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Okay. Um, so if you were a book, what would the title of the book be and why?
So that's a great question. And it made me ponder. So I'm
Uh-huh.
glad that you gave me that question in advance because I was like, let me think about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I will tell you that I'm big on spirituality. So if I
Okay.
had to name a book, I would say it would be Remembering My Divinity,
Oh, okay.
or how about Remembering My Divine Essence? Either one. I played with both of those, but
Okay.
just remembering who I am beyond
Mm-hmm.
who color, beyond race, beyond mind and ego, who I really am and
Mm-hmm.
what I really came here to do from a spirit and soul level. And
Mm-hmm.
then, my purpose in supporting all of mankind at this point, especially at this time.
Okay. And so does that look like Lane Consulting or do you do some other things since you talked about pivoting in regards to spirituality and assistance, or are they kind of like interwoven because of who you are?
I think it's interwoven. I think that is a big part of who I am naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I get the opportunity to work with small business owners one on one, but I also get to hear what their desires are, what their hurts are, what the
Mm-hmm.
issues are in their lives. I get to support and listen while also trying to find a way to help them make more money. And one of
Uh-huh.
the ways is by identifying opportunities out in the market. So I
Uh-huh.
think it's a combination of both. They're
Mm-hmm.
interwoven.
Nice. Awesome. Um, can you think of someone or something that in a short span of time had a really huge impact on you?
So I had to think about that because most of us would say, an actor's name or your
Mm-hmm.
mother or something like that, and I would
Mm-hmm.
say those same things. I would say my mom, of course, because she's
Mm-hmm.
my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody loves my mom if you met her.
Yeah.
However, I think in this moment, and
Mm-hmm.
because this is such a full circle moment for me, I would
Mm-hmm.
have to go back and say Reverend Claire Middleton, who you know,
Okay.
who
Yes.
was the spiritual leader at Colors. It is how I
Mm-hmm.
met you, it's how I met others in this community. And I
Right.
think it was because it was the first time that I had heard something outside of just religion,
Mm-hmm.
just hell or heaven, but
Right.
really honing into who we are, the essence of who we are in our divinity, in our spirituality, in our spiritual seeking and adventures. I
Mm-hmm.
think it was really kind of an aha moment when I finally found that teaching. And
Yeah.
I would say it's the colors community. It's just different.
Yeah. I recently did an event Friday, and that was one of, like, religion was one of the things, and so that was one of the places where I too, learned a lot, because it's like you undo a lot of old things to
Right.
embrace that divine essence, that
Yeah.
remembering that we are, the essence of God, and we have access to so many things by being that.
Yes.
And the faith part, because it ends up just kind of showing up. Not that I'm so great all the time,
Right.
with the faith.
Understood.
There have been so many times that I have forgotten, and kind of got off track or what have you. But I think when you have that foundation that you can always kind of go back to, and
Hmm.
kind of like, oh, okay, I'm having a moment. Oh, I can do an affirmative prayer, or I can do whatever that can get me out of this moment, or I can just know something greater, or just not take it as personally. Sometimes when things do shift, that we
Yeah.
have this opportunity to like, oh, okay, must be something bigger coming, and not with a, oh, just when one door closes, another, that,
Yeah.
but a little bit more, just like the trust that it's like, no, I think everything is divinely guided. And so there must be something outside of this, and knowing that to be true. And then having the evidence of, like, when you're in those spaces and when you honor yourself in that way,
Hmm.
that things just do show up different.
They do. And I will say, one of the biggest things that came out of colors for me was mastermind.
Uh-huh.
'Cause I'd never heard that concept.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but when I was at Colors, I was in a mastermind group with one of my sisters, Rashonda, and
Uh-huh.
another young lady, Roxanne, who you, of course, know. And
Uh-huh.
it was life changing for me because
Mm-hmm.
it was the first time I was able to take my mask off and
Mm-hmm.
take off all these robes and colors and things that we come out in the world at thinking that that's who we have to be,
Right.
to really get down to who we are and be
Mm-hmm.
our authentic selves and find it safe to do so. And
Mm-hmm.
then to be rallied around with
Mm-hmm.
the support of your sisters. And so
Right.
mastermind was big for me, even coming out of that community. And two of the ladies on here are my mastermind sisters now.
Nice. Yay. Welcome. Welcome. And for those that don't know, can you explain a little bit, like, what is a mastermind, or what's the group about, um and so on.
Sure. So, mastermind, for those who have not heard of it or may have heard of it but wasn't really sure, it
Mhm.
came out of the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And he talked about having a mastermind. And
Mhm.
essentially, what it is the synergy
Mhm.
of other like minded individuals who are
Mhm.
there to support you. And in their case, in the book, it was around business. But in
Okay.
our case, it was around spiritual development,
Okay.
a
Mhm.
safe physical and psychological space to be, to
Mhm.
share everything down to all the things that you don't want let anyone to know, not
Mhm.
be judged, to feel
Mhm.
safe speaking your truth, and to be
Mhm.
supported in whatever endeavors you're in. And so I think that was one of the biggest things that came out of it. And I hear people all the time say, I want to be in it, I want to be in it. But when it gets down to really speaking your truth,
Right.
sometimes that's a bit daunting for people.
Mhm.
But again, it's about the synergy of that group and feeling comfortable. And when you
Mhm.
know you have that sisterhood around you or that
Right.
brotherhood, if it's men, where you can just lay anything at the altar,
Right.
since many of us come out of religion, and know
Uh-huh.
it's not going to go anywhere, and that people mean you well and they want to see you do good. And their
Mhm.
job isn't to change your mind or opinion. It is your journey, but they're there to support your journey in
Mhm.
whatever case there is. So that is a little bit about how Mastermind has worked for me. I've been into this is my second.
Okay.
But it's
Awesome.
powerful because I realize how much I need it.
Mhm.
Um, because so many of us are strong and
Mhm.
we're excelling in ways that we, really want to show up in the world. But then
Uh-huh.
there's also those other lessons that are hard to learn, but we have to go through them because it helps us to elevate to the next levels. And so the presence of Mastermind has been life changing for me and extremely meaningful in getting through some rough days, but even to
Uh-huh.
celebrate the wins.
Right. And I've not ever been in a mastermind group, so I've thought about it, and yeah, so, but I think that the treatment, the spiritual mind treatment, or the when you have the collective that
Mhm,
knows for you,
mhm,
whatever that is, and they hold that space for you.
Right.
That's just amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, so who knows? Maybe you'll have some more people who want to join, or you come up with some more, who knows? Like, because it obviously has been a life changing experience.
Yeah, it has. It
You
really
know,
has. I wish it for everybody. However, every group is not for everybody. It is about the
yeah,
synergy. And so
yeah,
I've been in one where, we had someone who was in the group
mm-hmm,
that kind of toxic. And so
uh-huh,
we all had to treat around making sure that there was a space where truth flowed. And at
uh-huh,
some point, that person left.
mm-hmm,
And then we really were able to create synergy and we really started seeing things change. And so sometimes it has to be the right fit. Sometimes people aren't
right,
ready.
yeah,
Sometimes people don't want to own their truth. And so it does have to be a right fit.
yeah, yeah. That is that is the thing. Sometimes it's a little challenging to own the truth. And even if you do have people in a supportive environment, I think unfortunately people have been so accustomed to not being heard or not
Right.
feeling like they can be,
Yeah,
that they make up or present a particular way just because they've never had the experience of being able to be vulnerable and trusting that.
that's true. And
Yeah.
and I think it's hard, especially when many of us have worked in corporate America,
Uh huh.
because that's a place where it could go all bad.
Mm-hmm.
Everything from your performance evaluation to being walked out the door, depending on how authentic you want to show up. And so, you know,
Yes.
so you
Yeah.
you have a place where you're not necessarily able to be yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and you got a code switch, as we like to call it. But then
Right.
you have another space where you can just lay everything down,
Mm-hmm.
and just really speak your truth and be who you really are at the core.
Nice.
And so I wish that for everybody. And it was impactful for me because it was the reason I was able to quit my job. I walked in a mastermind. 3 weeks later, I kept talking about quitting my job to start my business, and I didn't have the courage. I kept fussing about it was the supervisor and blah, blah, blah. And they finally said to me, this isn't about her. This
Mm-hmm.
is about you, and you need to make a decision. And 3 weeks later, I walked in and told them that I quit, and they clapped, they applauded me and said,
Uh-huh.
and now you can get on to being who you really are and what you offer this world. And when you have that
Nice.
level of support,
Yes.
you feel like you can go far.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm grateful even today for Mastermind. And I'll jump off that Mastermind soapbox, but I'm just saying it's great for
You know,
anybody that can enter that space and really have the impact that it has had on me.
I think this is good because not everybody has heard. Like I said, I've heard and haven't, been in one, or found one that I felt like I could connect with or anything like that. So I think it would be good just that you're talking about it and people can hear and experience about what it's like to be supported in that way. Because I
Yeah.
think with everything that's going on now, just to have that type of support, just to keep your sanity, to know
Yeah.
that you can, you know,
That.
that you have people that are, there for you and wanting your good and genuinely wanting your good and can see it, um and are there way, at the finish line before you even think you can get there, is
Yeah.
amazing.
Right.
That in itself is like just a wonderful experience. So i'm glad that you were on the soapbox, because it's like, oh, I may kind of need to look into that again myself.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah. So, what are some of the qualities or characteristics that you find important in friendships or relationships?
Yeah. So I'm big on integrity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm big on authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm big on people who, because many of us we are the strong friends. We are the ones
Mm-hmm.
that people see and we're excelling and we're doing all these things, but nobody checks on your strong friends. And
Right.
so I'm grateful for the folks who see me,
Mm-hmm.
recognizes me, checks on me,
Okay.
to make sure I'm okay, but then it's reciprocated.
Uh-huh.
Um, so if something is going on in there, we are, supportive there. We show up for people, whether they're
Mm-hmm.
doing something out in the community. Some of the folks are on tonight because they are supporters of mine. And so I'm
Right.
big on just having real, I don't have a lot of friends, but the
Once you.
few friends that I have are important to me. I'm
Mm-hmm.
grateful for them.
Mm-hmm.
And because again, it took me to go through a process of shedding my own mask to be able to
Mm-hmm.
even see that.
Right.
because, we have this thing, especially as African American women, especially women who are excelling.
Mhm.
I don't know if I trust her. There's
Mhm.
this thing around competition, whatever that is.
Right.
And so just to have a space where we are supporting each other in
Mhm.
real relationship, not surface, not fake, like
Mhm.
real, authentic relationships. I think it's important. And I'm grateful
Mhm.
to have experienced that in this time in my life.
Yeah. And we have a comment from Xavier Black saying, "Say that again." Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I think, again, it is about supporting each other. It's
Mhm.
collaboration over competition. It's
Mhm.
being there. It's not, I think a lot of us like to keep score. Um,
Mm.
put that down.
Right.
When you show up, you show up. If the person
Right.
reciprocates it or not, let it be if we're really friends.
Right.
Because sometimes it's not always going to come from the person you're offering yourself to, your services, your
Mhm.
time, your patience, your listening ear. Sometimes
Mhm.
it's from others, but being authentically there,
Mhm.
um, without any expectations and giving people grace when
Yeah.
they may or may not show up the way you thought,
Mhm.
because sometimes the lesson is about you, not them.
Mm.
And so I'm big on also giving grace because so many people give me grace because I'll tell you, I got a personality sometimes that make it turn heads. And I'll be like, y'all pray for me. Like,
Uh-huh.
because, sometimes it may be a bad day or whatever. So I've learned to give a lot of grace
Mhm.
and hope that others give me the same.
Mhm. And so when you were saying shedding the mask, what process assisted you with kind of shedding your mask? Would you say?
So, um, I think coming out of corporate America was big because I used to joke
Mhm.
and say I finally learned how to put a skirt back on, because I
Right.
was in corporate America and you're in these positions and roles, and sometimes you got to take on a lot of masculine energy just to
Mhm.
survive in that space. And then
Right.
you come home and you don't even know how to turn it off. So
Right.
God forbid you're in relationship with somebody, and you come in, with all this animosity or ego and stress levels that are through the roof.
Right.
And so I learned how to put on a skirt again and just kind
Mm.
of step back into my femininity. And I got one lady in my mastermind group. She used to talk about it.
Uh-huh.
Show your femininity, put on them heels, put on that dress. So I
Uh-huh.
learned that. That was a big part of it. Um, so I think that was a big part of being important because I was the one that went in the mastermind and I was like, I don't know these ladies. I ain't sharing nothing with them. Like,
You
they
know
don't know
what?
my story. They don't know what I'm going through. They don't know blah, 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 blah. And I
Uh-huh.
was the most transformed
Mhm.
because I was the one that needed the most work and was able to
Mhm.
take my mask off.
Mhm.
And we would joke and say, you thought your halo was straight, but it was crooked the whole time we saw it. Or that mask, the string had already popped. You just didn't realize it. So we joke like, you think you holding everything together, but really you're not.
Right.
So I'm just, again, grateful to take the mask off and be who
Mhm.
I am. Still working on me, but
Of course.
grateful for what has come forth out
Mhm.
of doing the work to
Mhm.
show up as my authentic self. And it's
Mhm.
work.
Yeah. Um and it's, I don't, unless you're in the right environment, it's not supported all the time.
Agree.
So even when you want to, like you said, sometimes being too authentic may get you walked out, or what have you, or chastised or retaliated against just for being yourself.
Hmm.
And it is challenging for a lot of people to make the kind of choice that you made, that's like, wow, I actually want to do something else and I'm going to do something about it, and
Right.
to have the support around it. Because what people typically hear is like, oh, you better not leave that good job, or you better not, you've been doing this and that and the other, how you going to do, and this, that, and the other, and so sometimes that'll play, which makes everything a little bit more prolonged, because you can't have that mindset and do the other at the same time.
I will agree. And I will say, when I made the decision to quit my job, I
Mm-hmm.
come from a very religious family. And so the
Uh-huh.
first thing they say, you should have stayed and prayed for your supervisor.
Uh-huh.
And 18 months later, I was winning awards.
Uh-huh.
And what I learned is your family means well. They don't want to see you
Yeah.
suffer.
Right.
But you also have to remember that when you're giving information to people,
Mhm.
especially a dream that you have,
Mhm.
be cautious because even in their attempting to do well, because I don't
Right.
think it was done, maliciously,
Malicious. No. No.
but you got to also make sure that they had dreams of their own too.
Mhm.
And some of them didn't, or some of them put it on the shelf and never picked it back up. And
Right.
so again, that's where I get the giving people grace.
Mhm.
Because again, sometimes they don't know until they
Mhm.
see you do it.
Right.
And then it may give them the courage to do the same.
Awesome. Yeah. I do believe that once people see that it can be done, then they're like, huh. At least a little spark or a little light starts to come like, well, maybe if they
Right.
can, well, let's see, that they can go back to the drawing board and figure some things out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and Gretchen, um, Jolly
Yeah,
Gratitude
Gretchen.
Emotion. Yeah. She says, thank you for your truth as always.
That's one of my besties and a mastermind sister.
What I say, they are showing up and showing
They
out. Yeah.
are showing up.
Yes. What would you tell your younger self about how to prepare for the future?
Oh, goodness. I think slow and steady.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned to embrace that now, but I couldn't
Okay.
before. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted the expedited version of getting to the next bag, the next job, the next title, the next everything.
Uh-huh.
And I'm grateful that I've taken this path slow
Mm-hmm.
and steady. Sometimes not even at my will. Sometimes it was I wanted it to hurry up and finish. And there's still moments that I feel that way. But
Uh-huh.
the lessons that I've learned along the way,
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful because it was the difference between taking the next step and learning the lessons without it being catastrophic or falling straight into a pit of darkness or
Mm-hmm.
hell.
Yeah.
Um, and so I've learned to slow and steady. It doesn't mean that I'm screaming sometimes like, oh my God, why do I have to go through this lesson this way?
Yeah.
But I also realize that there are lessons, and I have my friends who say, okay, girl, get over yourself. It's gonna be all right. It'll show up, and I know it will show up. But sometimes I just need to voice it, and
Right.
so I would say slow and steady. I've done beyond what the statistics said I would.
I
I
know
was a
that's right.
product of a teen mom, a single mom. I grew up in the what they call the hood in Washington D.C.
Mm-hmm.
But I was able to go away to college, get
Mm-hmm.
not one but two degrees, and get the second degree even as a single parent
Uh-huh.
and excel in jobs and then roll into a business and do the same. Was it
Mm-hmm.
easy? No. I think people think that it's a linear path to success, but
Mm-hmm.
that success is it ebbs and flows. And
Right.
so sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down, sometimes it's calm. And so
Mm-hmm.
some of us we face calm and we think, well, why isn't anything happening? Well,
Mm-hmm.
good. Let those turbulent storms stay over there in that corner while we just
Right.
embrace this calm.
Right.
Um, because we're still putting out our ideas, our dreams, our goals. We're excelling in ways and learning more.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned to never stop learning. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that was a big, the biggest thing. Is
Mm-hmm.
to slow and steady, embrace it all.
Yeah, and I think that, once again, society does press like time to do things. You need to have
Mhm.
this by this. You have to have this by then. Or, just that pressure to feel like. And I think that with that pressure, you don't get a chance to tap into yourself as much because the pressure is there. So I
Absolutely.
think the slow and steady is like definitely, like we all get to, as I was saying earlier, kind of take a scenic route, when we need
Yes,
to,
we do.
because there will be things that show up. It's never going to be just totally, like just nothing shows up and everything is just, like, oh, very easy. It can be
Mhm.
easier sometimes depending on how you respond to it. But I think that we all get these opportunities to learn more about ourselves that will, like you say, take us to the next level. And if we don't get it, it will be repeated,
Does
so
it ever?
it's like, I thought I got it, but I guess it was some more.
Right.
Yeah.
So I say either you're tiptoeing through the tulips, but at least you're not going down the path of razor blades. So take your
Oh,
win. Okay.
okay. Right. That's a good one. Ah, and Xavier Black, the writer, said most people won't understand your dreams and are scared to take the first step.
That is so true.
Yeah.
So
So,
true.
but I think, just the liberation of taking the step and the freedom that comes along with that you did it, even if you're scared that you did.
That and most people are already thinking about the failure. And oh
Right.
my God, it's going to be catastrophic. And one of the
Right.
things that I learned in Bible study years ago, he said, as long as you're failing forward,
Right.
it's okay
Hmm.
because it's
Hmm.
another lesson. And is it really a failure? No, it's another lesson. And
Right.
so even changing the language around what we call our failures really
Uh,
are the lessons. So you know what not to do again.
right. And you wouldn't know unless you had the experience. Like
Absolutely.
there were certain things that, just once I made a decision to, kind of be more independent and self-employed, I learned a lot,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
some of it was just out of, wow, I trusted and I was lazy and I got to pay for that, So,
That's true. I think I always tell people that when you are in corporate America,
hmm,
you do it as they say you should do it.
right.
And a lot of times you're trained to do a thing away and that's it. There is
Hmm.
no creativity and your performance is typically evaluated based on whether you did it the way they said they
They
wanted.
said, right.
Entrepreneurship is about throwing something against the wall and seeing if it
See,
sticks.
you're
Trusting
right.
your intuition and seeing if it, oh, this might be a thing. Let me try this.
Hmm.
And I think, for many of us who've been in this space long enough,
Hmm.
we are okay with the, oh, that didn't work. Okay, what's next?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you're taking calculated risk. You're not just
Yeah.
throwing it all into the now. Sometimes I'm the one that's just gonna throw it out there like a boomerang and see what happens. But
And why not?
for the most part, you learn to put it out
Hmm.
there, and if it doesn't work, oh well, let's recover and what's next?
And like you were saying initially, like you've learned how to master pivot.
Yeah,
So even if it doesn't, you're like, okay, that just means there's something else. Okay, let's figure out what that is. Because that's the whole, pivoting mindset. Just okay, that happened. Let's figure out what did we learn from it, and like you said, let's keep it
mhm,
moving. And
right,
I won't do that, but if I add this one little thing, I think that'll work. But
mhm,
being able to just like, oh, okay, not take it so personal and not
right,
take on possibly like the fetus, attitude or mindset
right,
because it didn't work out exactly how you thought
yeah,
it was going to work out. Or
right,
sometimes, like you said, even with the slow and steady, sometimes it may just take time. It may not have worked exactly then, but when you leave it alone, you figure out that it started working and doing some other stuff over time. And then you look up, I was like, wow, I guess it did work. Like there are all of these different things that tend to happen.
absolutely, yeah,
Yeah.
and again, it goes back to planting a seed.
Hmm.
You plant the seed and then we trying to go dig it up. I'm guilty of
Right.
that. So I'm trying to dig it up. Where is it at? Why it didn't sprout it yet? What's going on? Uh,
I gave you water. Wait a minute. Like,
did somebody water it? Do I need to water it some more?
right.
So, I'm grateful for 55 years of living because I've
Yeah.
learned a lot in this time
Hmm.
frame. And
Hmm.
it's patience. I mean, again, like I said, some of my mastermind friends on here, they had to talk me off the ledge sometimes. And then, we don't talk about oh, I don't feel like working. I don't really want to work right now until
Right.
your bank account say, girl, you better go do something.
Right.
Having these real conversations about what this really is sometimes.
Hmm.
It's helpful for people. They need to know it's not
Hmm.
just them.
Right. Yeah. Um, what do you think people would be surprised to know about you?
Most people see me as calm a lot of the
Hmm.
times. Like
Hmm.
poker face. I
Uh,
can roll with the best of it. And inside I have all kinds of anxiety. I am screaming inside like, oh
uh-huh.
my God. But I tend to come across as really calm.
Hmm.
I'm grateful for that, but I do know that, that's something people think that they see me on here, they see me in front of an audience and they
Right.
assume that I've mastered it. And what I'm willing to do is do the hard things well. And
Hmm.
so because when I was speaking, I've been speaking most of my career and most of my entrepreneurship, but I was willing to go take speaking classes
Hmm.
because I was terrified to get in front of people, but I would do it afraid. And I
Hmm.
was terrified to the point that I went into speaking classes to
Hmm.
get better. because I
Mhm.
knew that on the other side of my fear was
Right.
where I was trying to go and what I
Mhm.
wanted. And in
Mhm.
government contracting, specifically in this career,
Mhm.
sometimes you got to stand up and pitch to
Right.
win the contract. And
Mhm.
so it was helpful for me to go in a small peer group, get
Mhm.
through all of that, and be able to stand. Y'all don't see my knees shaking under the dress or
Uh
in the pants. I'm doing it, but I'm doing it afraid. And
huh.
so I would say you be willing to do the things, the hard things,
Mhm.
to get past them. Because on the other side of that is what you really want.
Mhm. Yeah. So good evening. We had someone else join Crypto Cup. So
Okay.
yeah. So from what you're saying, even with that, as far as like investing in yourself, because I think that there's something that I've noticed where people have this expectation sometimes, and some things I'm good with and some things I'm not. But
Mhm.
the everything needs to be shared immediately or what have you without people investing in self. And so for the people that do invest in self, the expectation is, well, if you already did it, then I don't need to. You just need to tell me sometimes, as opposed to, actually investing in self and figuring out what their stuff is. Because even if you give people the information, I, if you don't have the investment that's attached to it, I've
Mhm.
noticed that very seldom does it work when you haven't made that like sincere investment in your future.
So I've seen it both ways.
Oh,
So I've seen it where there's some that they want you to give them the information and they
mm-hmm.
may not do anything with it right away,
Okay.
but it doesn't mean that the seed hadn't been planted. So I don't dismiss that they didn't take what you taught them and
Okay.
did something with it. It just may come later. And I know that's hard for us to see because we like, I just gave you the information. Why you didn't do nothing with it?
Yeah.
Sometimes their timing is not ours and we want to
Right.
see it right now.
Like
Uh,
yesterday. Yeah.
yeah, like yesterday. Um, and sometimes, like I'll give an example. I have people to come to me and they say, well, don't give people all the information because they're not going to pay you. They'll just take it and do whatever. I've had
Mm-hmm.
people, I'll sit there and tell them everything I'm going to do, and they'll still come back and pay me. Well, go ahead and send me the invoice
Uh-huh.
because I just explained in step by step strategy and action
Mm-hmm.
what I
Mm-hmm.
would do. And
Mm-hmm.
to a place where it spoke to them,
Right.
that they were willing to make the
And
investment in
mm-hmm.
themselves and in the business.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't force people
Okay.
because if people aren't ready, don't put
Mm-hmm.
them in a chokehold trying to get the sale. They'll
Right.
come back. Sometimes they got to go ask 50,000 people whether this is the right thing and how much did you charge and blah, and then they'll come
Uh,
right back.
mm-hmm.
Or they'll say they invested in somebody else and that person didn't deliver. So sometimes it wasn't that I was the best; it was that I
Uh,
delivered.
right.
So
Well, I would say
again,
that that would make you the best if you delivered. I'm just saying.
maybe or maybe not. I'm not sure, but whatever the
Yeah.
case.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that you have the results, that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I take that seriously. I take that
Mm-hmm.
people will invest in my business while investing in themselves. And
Mm-hmm.
so I feel like, the best thing that I can do is to honor what I said. I don't take
Yeah.
that light.
And it's a win-win.
Absolutely.
If they make the investment in your business and themselves, then everybody comes out on top.
I agree.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that is awesome. Um, is there anything that you feel like that people tend to misunderstand about you?
Oh, yeah. They think I'm serious all the time.
Uh-huh.
And most of my friends and my aunt is on here now too. Hey, Aunt Pearl.
Uh,
Um, they know I cut a whole food behind the scenes. So if it's business, it's just strictly business. And they
right,
really think
correct.
I'm serious because if I'm in business mode, I'm in business mode. But people think,
Uh-huh.
I mean, people are like, I laugh at people that say, "Oh, I didn't even know you knew music or you danced." I'm like, what?
What? Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, because when it's business, it's business. But when it's fun, it's fun. And
Playtime.
so
Yeah.
I'll show sides of me where I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's appropriate for me. So, so that I think that's one of the things. I think the other is um, I'm probably more spiritual than people think. I don't talk about Jesus and stuff all the time because there's folks that they
Yeah,
always
yeah,
talk about
yeah.
the Lord and the Bible and God bless.
Mhm.
But I'm probably more spiritual than probably most people think. And I also think that's part of the reason why most of my mastermind sisters are my mastermind sisters.
Uh-huh.
Because we all have this connection from a deeper level. And for me,
Mhm.
it is very spiritual. It's not just surface. It's not
Mhm.
just, well, let's get in the room and tell each other our businesses and that's no, it's from a deeper level, almost
Mhm.
like I signed up to be in this space with you at this time, to walk this
Right.
journey with you and you
Mhm.
with me. And I'm grateful for that. And so I think that is the part of me. And I've read a lot of spiritual books and I'm always trying to figure out the hocus pocus and the abracadabra of everything.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I know we have that ability. That is a part of our divinity. And it's
Uh-huh.
about remembering that. And so
Mhm.
I'm always on a search. And if you want anybody to go in that rabbit hole, my girlfriend on here, Gretchen, oh, she will get down in that rabbit hole with me and come out with all kinds of information. And
Information.
so again, I'm grateful for all my friends because many of us, I mean, we came from a place of religion, but we are just finding our own ways. Some of
Mhm.
them are not in, some of them are African spirituality. We've had folks that were Muslim or just
Right.
experienced all kinds of, and without judgment, because
Right.
we're all on this journey to find our own way.
Right.
And so I'm grateful to the for the non-judgment to allow each other to just be who
Just,
we are in the space and
mhm.
at the space and place that we're at this time.
Yeah. And I think when everybody's on that journey, and P. Seal said paying it forward, as well. But I think, like you stated, when everyone is on the journey, regardless what the path is, that synergy will still be there because
Absolutely.
it's still that same being intentional about finding, the divinity in us all. Because it's not just yours. It's like just remembering that we all are, like you said earlier. And
We
so because we are, mirroring and sometimes showing each other, um, ourselves, and holding space in that way, that it doesn't matter so much because that synergy will still be there because the intention is always love.
Yes. And speaking of that, one of the things we talk about often is doing the work on loving ourselves. We love to fix everybody else.
Oh, good.
We
Say
can
that.
have a whole nother conversation. We can have a whole another session on that alone.
Uh-huh.
The hardest work is on yourself,
Definitely.
but it is the most intentional, impactful work that you can do. Because, and I'm just speaking from my own experience, I can tell anybody how to walk
Hmm.
their journey.
Right.
But I think because I've been so intentional about doing the work on me and
Hmm.
operating from a place of seeing everybody from a space of love. Now, let me be clear. I don't always see that. Okay.
Yeah.
But I have to be brought back.
Uh-huh.
But seeing
Yeah.
myself from a space of love and then
Mhm.
outwardly seeing others from a
Mhm.
space of love. It's inward, it's inside out. And so whatever
Right.
I'm looking at, whatever experiencing, whoever I'm seeing,
Mhm.
um, it's typically for the lesson is for me in
Mhm.
first and then them.
Mhm.
Seeing, is this my mirror? Is this my lesson? Like, what is that? That work is hard. And a lot
Ooh.
of people will
Mhm.
do everything but the work on themselves until we start sunsetting on our lives.
Mhm.
And then we start thinking about what we could have done different, what we should. So just start from where you are. But
Mhm.
that work is the most important work.
Mhm. And it's the most rewarding once you start. It ends up becoming lighter. Like you become lighter as you do it. I always say, it's not for the faint of heart. The
Absolutely
work.
not.
Because it will, as you say, have you in a headlock every so
Oh,
often. Out.
honey. Yeah.
But if you stay diligent with it, it is so rewarding. I think there's so much peace that comes from doing the work, regardless of how it stretches or how uncomfortable it may be at various times.
Yeah. And what I've
Yeah.
learned is when people see that in you, because
Hmm.
most of the time others will see it first before you sometimes see it yourself. But it
Hmm.
also is what draws people to you. And it
Right.
draws the right people to you. But it
Right.
can also draw the lessons because it's moths to flames too. So,
Yeah.
but you get to recognize it quickly.
Mm.
And some of that is based on the frequency, the alignment of the person. You start feeling from a deeper level who
Mhm.
should be in your space and who shouldn't, where you should be and not.
Mhm.
And so, again, that work for those who are listening is the most impactful work, but it's hard. I won't even tell you that it's not. It's
Yeah.
because we're trying to deprogram from all the things. So I've
Right.
heard the saying, "We were born to win, but programmed to lose." And
Mm.
the evidence of that is all the things, the fear mongering and things that we hear on
Right.
TV.
Right.
And so, what's the best thing to do is turn off the TV and stop
Right.
looking at social media all the time because you will
Mm.
doom scroll forever and everything is about what's going wrong and but what's going right. How do
Right.
we spend time finding what's right? And the only way sometimes we can do that is to turn those things off so that we can see from a deeper
Mhm.
level.
Right. And I have, I think, well, I don't know how many years it's been where I just kind of made a decision. I think I was reading way back when Andrew Weil, and that was one of the things, like, don't look at the news. And I never was a big news person. And
Mhm.
I think Reverend Claire used to always say, whatever information that you need to know, it will come to you,
That's
whether
the
you're
truth.
looking at the news or not, because it'll just either a person's going to tell you or it'll show up when you are looking at something or what have you. So whatever you need to know will. And just
Absolutely.
kind of, like to keep yourself in a good space because it can be overwhelming if you're constantly kind of repetitively moving through this bad news, this bad news, this bad news, just like it can be overwhelming. And I don't think we've ever had a time where information has been so rapid,
Yeah. It is
so
tearing our nervous systems up every
all
day.
the way, all
Oh
the
my
way up.
goodness.
Yeah.
And you got to find the space and the place to
Hmm.
stay centered and aligned because, whoo, when I say it's coming faster than before
Right.
from all angles.
Yeah. Yes. What you say? Up, down, sideways,
Oh
all
my
the
goodness. Yeah. If it ain't the phone, it's the TV. If it's not the TV, it's something else. Like it is coming faster than we had ever seen before.
Right. So, and I think, like you said, just turn it off sometimes and
Yeah.
be able to be in that space of just quiet
Yeah.
so you can even hear yourself. Because who even knows, like, if you're even hearing yourself or are you hearing everybody else?
Right. That's
You know?
true. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. So, what would you say that you are the most proud or grateful for?
I'm I'm gonna say this not with arrogance, but with so much confidence and gratefulness
Uh huh.
that, that I beat the statistics.
Okay.
Because based on the statistics, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not
Right.
supposed to have excelled. I'm not supposed to
Hmm.
have an education. I'm not supposed to. It's all that what you're not supposed to do.
Right. Hmm.
It's a lie.
Right.
It's a lie.
Hmm.
I'm also grateful that I chose to be at this here at this time.
Uh huh.
Sometimes challenging, but I made the decision to be here at this time. That may be hard for some people to hear,
Uh
but
huh.
I clearly made the decision to be on this planet at this time for a reason. I
Hmm.
made the decision to be my daughter's mother,
Right.
knowing that this generation is so different than
Absolutely.
anything I've ever encountered.
Uh huh.
And even trying to understand it sometimes, it's like, what in the world? Like, these kids are so different. I joke and say, God, you need to put these kids back in the oven. They half baked. You need to bake them some more. But they
Uh
are
huh.
so different. And so, even with that, is what are the lessons in that? Because
Hmm.
we agreed to this. And so, clearly, I'm supposed to be learning something from her as much as she's learning from me. We're guides. And
Yeah.
we had the privilege to have them to come through us. We were
Hmm.
porters for them to get here. And so,
Hmm.
just trying to understand that.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Um, I mean, because I don't know, I've been in this space too, just, being a parent and recognizing what I see myself in. We talked a little bit about that as I see certain things, and it's like, oh, wow, at this age, was I that? And some of it is absolutely. And so I get to breathe and, like, oh, okay. What did I need, kind of at that moment that I may not have gotten or what have you. And how can I listen more or, because that's the thing. Sometimes it's like, she's like, are you listening? I'm like, yeah, but I don't know if I was all the time, because sometimes I had this idea. What I would say is I raised her how different with the expectation being the same. And
That's a
so,
great point.
so I was very intentional about, oh, you have your voice, or oh, you do this, da 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 da. And then I had this expectation, like, you should know not to say blah blah blah. But it's like I didn't
Exactly.
raise her to be that way, so she gets
Exactly.
to be the thing that I raised, and I get to learn how to adjust as well.
That's
Um,
that's
it took
good.
me a minute to get that because I was like, oh, that
Mhm.
was the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I laugh. I say that too. I tell people that when my daughters are growing up, I promised to never spank her if she told me the truth. Now I might
Uh-huh.
cuss her out,
I mean,
but I didn't. But I didn't spank her
yeah,
because I think part of the challenge growing up was we got spanked whether we told the truth or told a
truth or
lie.
not.
So you
Yeah.
got you we confused about whether I'm gonna get a spanking either way. So
Anyway,
I'm gonna make up
yeah,
a lie.
right,
That is the one thing I wanted my daughter to always be able to speak her truth,
right.
even though the world as
Doesn't
we are
support.
society's programming says we don't
Mm-hmm.
always necessarily embrace it. But even with that, like you speaking that truth, sometimes I hear things and I'm like, oh my God, oh dear God, I would have never said anything like that to my mother. Like
Yeah.
right, like clutch my pearls. But
Right.
I gave her the safe space to feel
Right.
comfortable doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it worked or not, I'm not sure. That is still
You know.
developing because she's still growing up. But
Uh,
that was my intention
right.
behind that.
Right. And I think in essence, I'm quite sure you have seen how it has worked. Because she does feel comfortable enough, even though you may clutch your pearls, she feels comfortable enough to say it.
That's true.
You
And I
know.
and I don't have to worry about the world telling her their version of it.
Right. So I think it's worked. How about it? Yeah.
I'll I'll, I'll take that credit. Yes, thank you.
Yes, yes, take it, take it. Um, what do you do that assist you with overcoming challenges?
I
What
mentioned
is it?
mastermind. I cannot stress mastermind enough. Mastermind, mastermind, mastermind.
Uh huh.
Um, because I can call any of the ladies in my group, because it's five of us. I can call
Okay.
any of them and have this conversation
Mm-hmm.
and know that it's safe and it ain't going nowhere. And they'll give me their feedback if they want to give feedback. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they'll just listen.
Right.
Um, it doesn't mean that we always agree. They give me
Mm-hmm.
the leverage to make whatever decision or choice I make.
Uh
But
huh.
again, they're feeding me too. Seed is being planted. So I may not respond right away with what their suggestion was. It may
Yeah.
take me a while to get there or process it, but it
Mm-hmm.
at least gives me the opportunity to speak my truth and to be honest and authentic about where I am, good,
Mm-hmm.
bad, or indifferent.
Right.
It is. And so Mastermind has been masterful in
Mm-hmm.
changing how I see the world, how I see people, because I hear a
Mm-hmm.
lot of us say, I don't like people. Well, thank God for people because these are the people that's listening to me. These are the people that's
Yeah.
paying me. These are so um, I'm grateful for Mastermind. I'm
Mm-hmm.
grateful for a family inside of a family inside of a family. And
Nice.
sometimes they're not biological.
Yeah. I think as we get older, we end up choosing more what our family looks like. So
Mhm.
and how they show up or what have you, and support, and just are there.
Right. And knowing that people don't have to be all things to you. Some is good at this
Right.
thing and some is better at this thing,
Mm-hmm.
and that's okay. My friends are going they don't have to be all encompassing.
Right.
Some of us are better in areas than others. I'm a
Right.
Virgo, so I'm gonna straight shoot and I'm gonna give it to you straight some chaser sometimes, whether you like it or not. But I think at this point, and ladies, y'all chime in to tell me, I think they know it comes from a place of love.
I'm
So,
sure. I'm sure they know that. And we need that. We need the honest. Sometimes people will not want to hurt your feelings, and so they don't tell you the truth. And so there's a lot to be said when people are honest. And yes, so they said yes, all love, and most definitely. So they know it's coming from the heart. Even if it's a little tart, it's still coming from.
now, one of them used to always say, "You can put some honey on that stuff now. Every now and then you can put some honey on it." It don't always got to be vinegar or hot sauce. So,
Uh-huh. Oh, well, that's awesome. That you have the support, and I think probably a lot of people may start looking up mastermind even after this conversation.
good.
Um, just because it's obviously been a thing that has been very influential in your life and the support system. And I think, like you said, it'll end up being what it needs to be with the right people, and the people, if it's not everybody isn't on the same level, that sometimes things happen to where everybody gets to be on the same level.
Right. But again, wherever our
Yeah,
job in that space is not to tell people where they are and what they should be doing, and
right.
it's just to join the journey with them and allow them
Okay.
to unfold and blossom the way they want to.
Look at you. Look, I am learning. I am learning. I am learning. Yeah, and so that is awesome. And so we are closing, kind of coming down. Are there any questions? Um, so we both have the train that just left over.
Yes, we have the train in the background. We laugh about that. My friends are used to it. Always the train coming
Yeah.
through. Yes.
Mm-hmm. They said LaPronda, this is Gretchen. LaPronda tells the truth always, and she is a cool, refreshing cup of clean water that quenches the thirst for truth.
Oh,
Nice.
thank you, Gretchen. That's my
Yeah.
bestie. She
Nice.
will do every never part.
Yes. So as we're coming to a close, what would you say as far as words of encouragement, and are there any things that you would like to promote at this time?
Words of encouragement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say this to anybody listening as I say this to myself is be patient with you.
Mm,
There is divinity inside of all of us. That we don't even know how powerful we are. And I'm only learning and scratching the surface of what I'm understanding about how powerful we really are.
mm-hmm.
And it's not necessarily from a place of doing and thinking all the time, but
Mm-hmm.
allowing.
Mm,
That's harder for me, but it is part of what I am always working on is the allowing. Um, just because we've been told that we should always be doing something. We got to be doing something. Um, being idle is the devil's workshop, and all these cliches that, and these sayings that we get. But the truth is that, it flows through us,
mm,
in us, as us, so that we can give our gifts to the world. For those who are on here, God don't need our help with none of it. He just needs us to allow, be open and
mm,
receptive to it. And that is a bigger lesson that I'm learning, even down to the money, which I'd be screaming half the time about, like, oh my God, the money. But it comes to when
mm-hmm.
there's surrender and a space and a place for it to flow. So
Mm-hmm.
that is what I've learned in my journey so far. So that's 5 cents on that. Be patient with yourself and allow. Um, no promotions really. I would love to support anybody. Most people come up and they like, we want to be a part of your mastermind, and I'm like, we just don't let anybody in the door now.
Right. Yeah,
But we
it tends to be
we
closed.
encourage, yeah, we
Mhm.
encourage people to experience that on their own. If they want us to help them understand how we operate, then I'm happy to do that. We actually met with a group out of colors when we first started to just understand how they operated.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then we took and made it our own. And then at
Mm-hmm.
some point, the synergy is so great, you just let it flow. I mean, it just shows up
Mm-hmm.
how it is. We'll get together periodically. At one point, it was consistent, but many of us are moving all around, and my friends love to travel, and so we got to catch them when they ain't catching planes
Fly.
like taxis. Yes, but that is that. I have no promotion except be you, do you, love you, do the work on you. That's my last 5 cents.
Nice, nice. I mean, and that's it. That we all have to do our own work.
We do.
Yeah.
So here's a question for you.
Yes.
Since I have no promotion, what can I do for you?
Uh, let's see.
Hmm.
I think that I will be. asking more about mastermind and getting the idea of how that works, and taking that step to create that.
Good.
Yeah.
I think it will go far for you. I
Yeah.
think it will be, I hope you will receive it in
Yeah.
the gift that it is.
Mhm. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, thank you.
Yes. So for those who are on, because some of them are here because of me, Latricia,
Mhm.
Latricia's a therapist, like
Mhm.
our Dr. Sharika Fair. And
Uh-huh.
so, pouring always into other people and listening to other people.
Mhm.
But often, as Virgos don't ask for what they need. So that is why I put that question out there.
Yeah. Learning. That learning curve, sometimes is bigger than other times.
It is.
But I've started getting better, and I've been very intentional also too about slowing down, and just like you said, just kind of being more patient, and um, I think kind of having a why not, because I don't know what I'm going to be moving into, but I'm starting to be open for like, oh, if I want to do this, well, why not? Let's try to figure this out,
Hmm.
or let's just do something a little different. And I think in this stage, I want to have way more fun.
Good. Me too. Me
Yeah. So that's the like, how do I create more fun? How do I do the things, that I was so like rigid, or you don't have time, and all of that. And it's like, no, let's go for a hike, or let's take a class, or let's do whatever. And so that is what I've been endeavoring to do.
Good. I
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
The other thing, and I'll say this last.
Uh-huh.
I'm learning to say no.
Ooh.
And what I heard recently was if it's not an absolute yes, then it's a no.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm trying to learn to embrace that because I'll go out here and try to fix the world. Wait a
Mm-hmm.
minute, you already got stuff you need to take care of, and you ain't really want to do that. You just didn't want to hurt nobody's feelings. So
Mm-hmm.
learning to say no, I don't think I
Mm-hmm.
want to do that. So if it's not an absolute yes, it's a no. I'll tell you how that goes.
Okay. You know, look, I, I get it. Um, I started having a little in between phrases that, when people ask me things, I'm like, it depends, you know.
So,
Um, so I had to throw those in for myself because
uh
I
huh.
say yes as well, and then you're ripping and running and doing all of the stuff, and you're not centered. Where I was.
Hmm.
For me, I was
Hmm.
I was saying yes and showing up and trying to show up and really, wanting to be to others what I think everyone deserves in a friend. And
Right.
it ended up being a little taxing a little bit at times. And
Right.
I wasn't doing the same for myself.
Hmm.
So I had to start creating little phrases in between, so I didn't automatically say yes. I was like, oh, it depends, or I have to check my calendar, or just something to give me some space so I can actually think and just not go straight into yes, which is what I used to do all the time.
Yeah, I'm still learning. I'm still learning.
Yes, so awesome. Okay, Sister Gail, thanks, LaPronda, for sharing your pearls and gems and your platform, Latricia from I
LaDonna?
confused LaDonna. Okay, LA's and Virgos in the house. Yes, Virgos are in the house for sure.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I had something over here, so I couldn't read it. So I was like, okay, what is that? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So thank you for everyone who showed up and supported. It
Yes,
will
thank
definitely
you.
Yeah, it will definitely be, available for people to watch later. And once again, thank you so much, LaPronda. This has been awesome, as I knew it would be.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, because I knew that once you started talking, some of the things that I would need to hear, and that's why I love speaking with people because I learn so much, and it's always like, oh, okay, yeah, you needed to hear that because you need to pay attention and you need to check yourself on this, you
Right.
know, um, and
Yeah.
that's always great, and just everybody has their story, and
Right.
I don't know, I just think it's amazing to talk with people and get their perspective because there's so much to learn,
True.
and
So
then
true.
and it also shows how connected we all are. So,
Very much so.
Yeah. So, well, if there's nothing else, we got thank you for from Dr. Sharika Fair,
Yes.
and we'll be closing. So, thank you all for showing up. Thank you for your participation, and until next time, you all have a fantastic rest of your week. And good
Thank you. Thank you.
night. All right.